Hello, I like to make today black forest cake, and what we need for this recipe, first of all, we need combine cherries, which we using 300 gram of frozen cherries. They need to be thawed, and place in a medium bowl and add 1 tablespoon of cherry brandy. And we need to add also half a teaspoon of vanilla essence. So we just mix it all together and set aside. Once you set aside, next step is to preheat oven to 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. All ounces and all other measurements will be in description box. Please do have a look. And we need to grease 3 round baking pans. I use spring foam baking pan. Recipe asks for the 18 centimeter, which is 7 inch in diameter, but if you don't have those, simply use 20 centimeter like I do, because I using 20 centimeter, which is 8 inch. Difference is only will be that cake will be not as tall, basically, and but it's not a difference at all. So we're using 3 round spring foam baking pans, 20 centimeter, which is 8 inch in diameter, all greased and aligned with non-stick baking paper base and the sides. So once we're done 3 of those, if you don't have 3, bake 1 or 2 and just repeat process with every one of them, basically. So next step is to place butter. We need 375 gram of chopped butter. Add 2 cups of caster sugar, 2 cups of caster sugar, and we need to add 300 gram of dark chocolate. So basically, see, we use about 3 blocks, each block 180 gram, but in total we need 540 gram of dark chocolate. So we take 300 gram of that amount, 300 gram, and basically break into pieces, and we place together with butter. So next step is to basically, if you're using a microwave to melt butter with chocolate, please put on high for about 100% and stirring basically with a metal spoon every 30 seconds for about 1 to 2 minutes until it's melted and smooth. Also, you can use double boiler or simply place on top of saucepan with boiling water and stirring until it's melted and smooth. Once chocolate, sugar and butter mixture is become smooth and melted, what we do is we set aside for 10 minutes to slightly cool down. So next step is to sift our flours. So we have 1 cup of plain flour and half a cup of self-raising flour, then we add 3/4 cup of cocoa, and we add 1/4 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. So what we do is next, we simply sifted these ingredients into bowl. Once you finish sift your flours and cocoa, set aside. So what we do is next, our chocolate butter mixture is cooled down now, and we add 4 eggs, slightly beaten, just a little bit to break the yolk and white, just slightly. So once it's done, they're all incorporated, and we place into chocolate butter mixture, whisk together, and we add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence and whisk together. Then what we do is we add our flour mixture and we add 1 cup of milk. So we start from flour mixture, just to take half of it for start, and add last of flour mixture. Whisk together to incorporate all ingredients nice and smoothly until all combined. Once last bits of flour incorporated, whisk until combined, until it's nice and smooth, and what we do is we divide it evenly among 3 prepared baking pans. Once you divide cake batter among 3 prepared baking pans, what you do is bake for about 50 to 55 minutes or until skewer inserted into center of cake comes out clean. Then stand in a baking pan for about 10 minutes once your cake is baked, and transfer to a wire rack to cool completely down. And but if you do not have 3 baking pans, simply just bake them one at a time, or if you have it 2, bake it 2 and follow by 3rd one. It doesn't really matter. So let's bake our cakes and let them cool down before we start decorate them. Meanwhile our cakes are baking, we'll make some whipped chocolate ganache. So what we need for chocolate ganache is, first of all, we need 3 blocks of 180 grams of white chocolate. So in total we need 540 grams of white chocolate, which is we break into pieces. So and we add 300 grams of thickening cream. So what we do is next, if you will melt your chocolate in the microwave, what you do is place on a medium 50% and stirring with a metal spoon every 30 seconds for about 2 to 3 minutes or until mixture is smooth. Or if you simply want melt your white chocolate, you on the top of saucepan with a simmering water, what you do is place simply and just on low sort of heat, mixing all together until your chocolate is melted and smooth. Once your chocolate melted and mixture become nice and smooth, what we do is we place our mixture into refrigerator for about an hour or two, or until mixture become cold and almost firm. Then we can whip it with electric mixer. Once chocolate ganache become cold and a little bit firm, what we do is we use electric mixer to beat until for about 2-3 minutes until it's light and fluffy. Once you finish beating, as you can see, chocolate ganache become lighter and fluffier. So set aside for now, and what we do is next we take our 3 cakes, which is now baked and completely cooled down. They have excellent structure and beautiful texture, but as you can see, they're beautifully fragile as well, so we have to be really careful with them. What we do is, once they completely cool down, use serrated knife to level tops of cake so they are all 3 flat. So next step is to have 300 mils of thickening cream, which we whipped. You can use the metal whisk, or you can use electric mixer to whip cream to make sure it's nice and thick. That's what we really wanted. And next step is to drain our cherries. So we simply place like that and drain cherries. Now, do not throw the liquid. We will reserve this liquid because we will use it for the cakes. Next step is to take your cake board or serving plate, whatever you prefer. It's a good idea to have it one of those turnable ones, because once you start spreading. So I place extra. This is actually a pizza tray, but it's good, makes good match black color with this particular cake. So what we do is, next step is, we probably even place maybe this way, makes maybe even easier for us. So we first of all, we basically place our first cake just nice and carefully right in the middle, and we drizzle 1 tablespoon of our reserve cherry liquid on top of first cake. Then we spread half of whipped cream, arrange half of cherries on top. What we do is, next we drizzle with another tablespoon of liquid, our reserved cherry liquid. We spread remaining whipped cream, just a rough way. And place all the cherries on top and cover with the last cake. Once you assemble all 3 cakes, place a top cake bottom part up. Make sure it's nice and flat. So as you can see, it's nice and neat. Now we need it placed for about an hour into refrigerator, or until cream is nice and firm. Once cream become hard and firm, what we do is we spread a thin layer of whipped chocolate ganache around the cake. Just a thin one. That's what we wanted. We just want to seal the crumbs and the top as well. Then what we do is we place into refrigerator for 30 minutes or until chocolate ganache is set. Once a first thin layer of whipped chocolate ganache is set hard, what we do is we just apply rest of whipped chocolate ganache right around cake, nice and smoothly, as smooth as possible. Cover entire cake and the top. Make sure it's nice and strong. Once you apply plenty of whipped chocolate ganache, what you do is, if you like to make it a cake nice, straight and neat, use a clean ruler and just place against cake. Move your turning board to make sure you just makes it really easier for you. And as you can see, it makes nice and straight. So once you've done all that, what you do is place into refrigerator for another hour to make sure your whipped chocolate ganache is completely set, and then we apply dark chocolate ganache on top and we finish cake. So let's place cake into refrigerator for about an hour or until the whipped chocolate ganache is firm. Now we make some dark chocolate ganache, and what we do is place leftover of dark chocolate, which is leftover, it will be 240 gram, and 1/3 cup of thickening cream together. And what we do is, if you melted chocolate in the microwave, what you do is place in microwave safe bowl and microwave on high 100%, stirring every 30 seconds for 1 minute in total, or until it's melted and smooth. If you're using, you can melt it on top of saucepan with simmering water as well until it's melted and smooth. Once you melt your ganache, stand for 30 minutes or so, or until it's slightly thickening. Then we can pour onto cake. Once you've done dark chocolate ganache, as you can see, it's nice and smooth. Now just have to leave it to make sure it's cooled down for about 20 to 30 minutes. And also we're using for decoration Maraschino cherries, as they come in a sort of little jars like that. You probably need 2 or so, depending how many you like to place on top of your cake. Or also you can use simply fresh cherries, washed and dry completely, and these ones come with a steam like that, and place as many little jars as you like in to make sure actually drain those drain liquid. So what we do is now our cake is take from refrigerator, and as you can see, it's nicely set and it's firm. So what we do is we take the our chocolate ganache and we simply drizzle on top. Do allow drizzle from the sides as well. Nice and smooth. So what we do is last, it's take the cherries and place on top of cake for decoration. Now we finish decorating and arrange the Maraschino cherries on top. 2 little containers of Maraschino cherries will be plentiful. I use only 2. And as I said before, you can easily use fresh cherries as well. I hope you like this creation of Black Forest cake. Thank you very much for your time with me today. Everything will be in the description box, including the ounces and the pounds and inches. Basically, I will place it everything in. Thank you for your time. Until next time, goodbye.